gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this. I just came out with my debut single called The Darkest Hour.
I still cry sometimes, but those times I'm enveloped in loving art.
And I really just want to talk about the process of writing it, why I wrote it, what's it about, the lyrics, the melodies, all the choices that I made. Basically, I got this idea from the Diary of a Song series on YouTube, specifically the one where Taylor Swift is talking about Lover. I just thought that was so interesting to kind of be able to see into her mind and see behind the scenes of what she was thinking when she wrote this song. So if you're interested in knowing how I wrote The Darkest Hour, then stay and watch this video. Also, I would highly recommend going and listening to that song before you watch this video because it won't make sense unless you actually listen to it. It is on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music. I think that's all. I hope I didn't forget any. So I will never forget the day that I wrote this song. I got this bad news and I remember hanging up the phone and I started crying. But this time it just felt different. In the past, it felt like this thing that was happening was insurmountable. It was something that I would never be able to get over. But in that moment when I got that bad news and I was just sitting there really upset, I remember I just started laughing, oddly enough. I just started laughing because I felt relieved, because this time it just felt different. It felt like even though this bad thing had happened, and even though I was extremely upset about it and sad about it and I was crying, I knew that this time I would be okay, because this time I was there for myself and I was loving myself. And in the past, that was not the case. So basically, I ran, as in ran down the stairs, and I went to the living room and I sat myself down at the piano and I started writing this melody that I had in my head, which was, I don't know when the breeze changed, but I know it had something to do with me. And I don't know when my tears stopped, but I know they stopped. The actual recording is much better, I promise. What I wanted to depict there is this idea that at some point down the line, I switched from not being able to handle bad things when they came my way to being able to handle bad things when they came my way. There was never one singular point that I can consciously recall where I had switched from one mindset to another, which is why I say I don't know when the breeze changed. But what I do know is that it changed because of me. I then came up with my favorite melody in the whole song, which is the I still cry sometimes. Oh gosh, what is my hair doing today? The reason why I wrote the lyric I still cry sometimes is because I had just said, I don't know when the tears stopped, but I know they stopped. But I didn't want to make it sound like I was saying, I'm completely fine now. I'm never going to cry again. Crying is wrong. So I said I still cry sometimes. But when I do, it's different because I'm enveloped in loving arms, is what I say. But those arms are mine. And that was something I just never had before. In songs, when you start with a verse, right? And then you have a chorus, which is you'll go back into, the melody of the verse for the second verse. So I would, go back into da 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 da. But it didn't feel right. I knew that the song had to kind of keep climbing. And so I changed the melody for the second verse completely, and I just had it kind of pick up that intensity. But then we go into the chorus again saying, I'm different now. you were my terrified past self, but I wish you could know that we're fine and we grow. You know, I would just give anything to be able to go back in time and tell myself, like, hey, like this thing that hurt you or this thing that you felt so much hurt, it's not going to affect you that way forever, because you're going to come to a point in your life where you love and support yourself enough to really be there for yourself during those times. Then we hit the bridge when it comes in and it like explodes and it says it was when I carried you. Now, an interesting little story about this bridge. So I did not write this bridge for this song. I actually wrote this bridge, the lyrics, the melody, everything, when I was in, I believe, the 7th or 8th grade. And it just never fit in any other song. Like, I would put it in other songs as like the chorus, and I just never liked it. It never fit. So I just saved it and kept it. And I was like, one day I will find a place for it. And that day finally came. Yay. Something I do at the end of the song is I take the exact same melody and the exact same lyrics of the first verse, and I use those as the outro. The reason I did this is because I wanted those lyrics to have new meaning. I'm saying the exact same thing, but this time you have context, you have insight. So the lyrics mean something different and even more important this time. When I had gotten the bad news on the phone, I immediately called my mom crying, and I was, obviously really upset. And she came home later that day and I had the song done. So she came in the house, expecting me to be really upset and for her to have to really comfort me. But she came in and I was sitting at the piano and I turned around just grinning. And my mom was like, "What you doing?" And I just said, "I accidentally wrote a song." So she was like, "Oh, okay, like let's hear it." And I sang it for her and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like you were able to take this thing that had happened and make something beautiful out of it." And that's a big reason as to why this song is so special and important to me. I have oh my gosh, maybe around 30 songs that I've written over my lifetime. And we were trying to decide, which song should be my debut single, which song should be the first that I release into the world. And after I wrote it, right after I showed her, she was like, "That needs to be the debut single. That should be your first song." And I was like, I completely agree. What I love about this song being my debut single is that it's not about anyone else. Most of the time, a debut single is about love, romance, heartbreak. There's something that is referential to another party. And what I love about The Darkest Hour is that it's really just an exploration of me and who I am. And I think that's why we wanted it to be the debut single. It just showcased everything I was going through in the moment and my mentality, and kind of showed people who I was as an introduction. Editing Jessie here. Something that I want to mention that I totally forgot to talk about in the video is that I did have reservations about making this the first single, because it is so personal, and I didn't know if it was too much, especially for just an introduction. But since putting out the song, people have said to me that they really connect with it. So I'm really, really, really glad that I ended up going with it as a debut single. I just had to not be scared to be completely honest about my experience. So I'm glad that I ended up doing that. So yeah, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to ring the bell, because apparently that does something important. I have no idea what. If you could give this video a like if you liked it. If you hated this video, still give it a like. Did I miss anything? Ooh, comment down below. What should people comment? What should I tell people to comment? Okay, I've got it. Let me know in the comments below what other videos you'd want to see that have to do with music. What kind of vlogs you'd want to see. If you like, does anyone want like songwriting advice? I don't know. Yeah, let me know what I should make and what parts of the, music industry process I should show next. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like The Darkest Hour. Please make sure to stream it lots and to buy it if you want to. It's only 99 cents. Oh my gosh, look at my little baby. Look at the cat. Oh, I'm gonna show you the cat. Okay, look at my angel. Please ignore the messy chair. This is my angel, Thea. She's my muse and the love of my life. Okay. Bye! This is so awkward.